Alright everybody, welcome back to DRAWDY RC. Me and RD back here in the hangar hanging out. First of all, I want to, I guess, apologize to everybody. You know, I know a couple of months ago we were talking in one of our last hangar times, me and RD was talking about doing a hangar time at least once a month, but you know, we haven't done it. We haven't kept up our end of the bargain, but it's for good reason. We've been pretty busy with just life in general, but we've gotten a lot of planes in the last couple of months, and we've been pretty busy trying to get those you know, fixed or built or painted or whatever, and just getting flight time on them. And if you've been with our channel any amount of time, you've already seen most of the planes that we've gotten over the past couple of months, including what you see in front of us, the Cougar. And we'll get into the Cougar in a few minutes. But anyway, thank y'all so much for coming along this journey with me and RD. Like I say in all our videos, we really appreciate it. And we really appreciate everybody that's subscribed to our channel, that's following us on Instagram, that comments on our videos, gives us thumbs up, and we really appreciate it. The channel's growing like I really never thought it would, and it's because of you guys out there that it's growing, and that we keep pushing and keep enjoying this hobby of RC flying. So with that being said, in the last couple of months, we've, as you've seen in the first of the video there, I've got a 5280 hat on, 5280 RC. Me and RD have...
before you get in that, let me say something. Guys, we promised when we started out this channel that that we was going to give you as much information, bring you along for the ride, and what we learned we were going to share with you guys, because this is a beginner's channel. We're no professionals here. We haven't been doing it all of our life, and we promised for those new guys that may be just thinking about getting into RC, what it's like, what we've been through, and kind of how we've developed and what direction we went in, so on and so forth. Well, anyhow, we promised you guys that at least, you know, every so often, we'd have a hangar time and tell you from what happened from the last hangar time to the new hangar time, what airplanes had crashed, why they crashed, you know, just bring you up to date on where we were at that maybe y'all didn't know about. Another thing we promised that we would give you more information, and honestly, we were just having so much fun flying the darn things, and life happened. I got sick. Keith had severe back problems he had to take care of, and so a lot of things kind of split between the cracks. Like, for instance, we used to give you flight times, what battery was used, what battery was left over, what our rates were, what, you know, to give you information, because that's what I look for. If I'm going to buy an airplane, or even airplanes that I've got, sometimes I'll go to a channel, somebody else's channel that's got that airplane, and I'll see how they got theirs set up. So, I mean, that's information that just, I mean, it just slipped away from us. We just forgot. We got all involved in, and too, like Keith said, we've had a lot of airplanes come our way recently, and it's a week to 2 weeks on every airplane we get to get it ready to fly. So, you know, it's not a defense. It's just the reason we kind of slipped from what we said we was going to do in the beginning. But we've talked about it. We're going to do it again. We're going to start giving you more information on that particular airplane, and that's what we're here to do tonight. We're going to tell you the airplanes we acquired, how we acquired them, why we acquired them, what we had to do to get them ready to fly. And one of the first, I guess, we'll start off with is the Cougar. No, I'm sorry. First of all, first and foremost, if any of you guys out there have a King Twin by Avios, I want you to be very, very careful about the connections in the wings. I bought one. It was beautiful. We put it together. I painted it like I wanted it. I decaled it like I wanted it. It was a gorgeous airplane, and I loved it. But it never flew quite right. And I think the problem we're going to tell you we encountered was probably off and on and momentary at times, because sometimes the plane just go crazy. Well, I think we flew it twice or 3 times.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times.
On the 3rd time, I let my buddy Marvin take it up, because he's been flying for 30 years. And while he's got it in the air, it crashes. I mean, it comes to the ground hard. And what we found out was, on the right wing, the connection, you know, it's got a snap in. They snap in place. The wing was snapped in, but the right side was completely dead. And as we was messing with it, we could see that you could just move the wing a little bit and it'd lose all power to that wing. Really aggravated me, because I spent a lot of money for it, spent a lot of time making it. And I think I got 2 flights off of it, and Marvin got 1. So, and we're not throwing off on anybody. We understand those things can happen, especially when you manufacture something overseas and it takes forever to get here, and blah, 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 all the reasons that you guys already know about. But just be aware and make sure, if you have that King Twin, you need to watch those. You need to watch those plug-ins on the wings. You know, it's got a manual snap that snaps the wing in, and you can look underneath and tell when it snapped. But it wasn't that. It's the oval plug-in. There was something amiss with the plug-in that caused the wing to go dead, and that thing from what, 100 feet up?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that wing just died, and
It
barreled in, and it was over with. So that's one of the first things we want to talk about. Just
Also,
be aware of that situation.
Also, the prop hubs.
Yeah.
Were,
Yeah, the prop hubs, one of the things was really fragile, and they broke. I couldn't find any. And honestly, it was a terrible way to put the prop on. Props on the airplanes, how much simpler could you be? You put it where it doesn't twist on the shaft and put a nut on it. Well, that's not how these work. And when it crashed, I couldn't find anything as far as prop hubs to fix the prop. Finally, I had Marvin make me some, what we call 3D printing, and he made me some and got it back in there just long enough for us to end its life as it crashed to the ground. The airplane just really, well, it wasn't meant for me to have it, I guess, because I had trouble with it from the first day I got it. So,
and some people have had
great luck with it.
Yeah, great luck with it. But
I'm not saying it's a bad airplane. I'm just telling you guys, if you have it, be aware that that could possibly be a problem. And if you have that problem, it's a gone airplane.
yeah.
Go ahead, Keith.
Well, and you know, already had a lot of time in that plane, and
She was pretty.
yeah, painted it up. It looked totally different. And I know if y'all been around any amount of time, or if you just recently came on board here, you can go back some videos ago, and I think I got 1 or 2 videos up with that King Twin, and it was a nice plane, but when it went in, and it
Wasn't no saving it.
no, it tore it all to hell. So I mean, it is what it is. But really disappointing, because I think there for a minute Marvin had it trimmed out pretty good.
Yeah, it was getting there.
And then he was actually in like the little final stages of the flight, and that wing connection come shorted out or something, and that whole side went dead, and it went in the dirt, hard. It tore it all.
And we didn't have it no more.
No, we didn't have it no more. So, but anyway, with that being said, I guess we'll talk about the 5280.
Yeah.
You know, me and RD, like I said, if you've been watching the channel amount of time, you know, we started out with these small 800 millimeter, 850 millimeter flight line, P-51s, Adora, stuff like that, which had 50 camera rope. But we started off with the Adora and the P-51 from Flightline, the 850s, and they were just
Not for us.
that wasn't good. And
Well, to be honest, Keith, think about it. We knew nothing about flying, and no one to tell us about anything.
and that's probably not a good plane to start off with.
Oh, absolutely not. It was a hand launched,
Yeah.
belly landing, little plane that was pretty doggone fast, and
A lot of torque in them.
Not and we, and we laughed about it. That we had been flying the, what's the little bitty one? The
Volatex.
Yeah, the Volatex P51 and
little
L4.
I think the little 400 millimeter or something like that. The little ones, and we thought we were doing something.
Yeah, we thought we were doing something. So we were talking about going out to the field, and we were gonna what we were gonna do? Take our big airplane.
Yeah, we were gonna take the big airplanes. That didn't work either. But but since then, you know, we graduated up to the bigger, you know, 1200, 1250s, 1500, 1700s prop planes, and we've got quite a few of those. We've lost a couple, we've sold a couple, but we still got a good bit. The Warbirds, the Waco, the Cherokee, the Ranger, the you know, just all kinds of them that we still have, and we still fly them. But me and RD got into the EDFs. RD bought the first one, which was the what was it, the 800 or the 64 millimeter F-18, and then I got a F-86, which I still have it. I bought an F-15, an F-16, and F-22. Y'all seen those videos. And we started getting into the bigger ones. And once we got into the bigger ones, we decided we wanted to try some of these afterburners out. Without calling any names by any means, you know, you get what you pay for. And already researched it and come across a couple of different guys that make them, and not saying they're bad afterburners, but customer service goes a long way, and somebody responding back and telling you what they can and can't do, and what you don't need and you do need, and what this does and what that does, goes a long way to selling a product.
Well, I didn't know that much about them. I didn't know anything about them, so I emailed a person and asked him some questions, thinking he would give me an answer, kind of guide me what I needed to go on my airplane, and I never got a response. Not even an acknowledgement that I'd sent him anything. So with that, I said, okay, you don't care more about potential customers than that, I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I had been looking at 5280 for quite a while. I knew they had a good afterburner. They were reasonable. They weren't on the high end, they weren't on the very, very low end, but pretty close to the low end. I thought they were reasonable. And so we decided to give them a try. Well, Larry out of Littleton, Colorado, isn't it, Keith?
I think so.
We got with him. He's been very good about answering our emails, answering our questions. He's been good about what we need to put in this, what we need to put in that, and he's just been a real help as far as that goes. So we decided to stick with him. And everything we got right now has got 5280s in them, and they're great.
I think good, they're bright.
I think Keith tried one that was a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It didn't even make the first flight.
No, it burned out on the first go around.
Yeah, and in fact, it got so hot, it actually was melting the glue.
It was melting the hot glue around where it sticks to the fan, the motor.
I mean, that thing was terrible. And it's like, you plug it in, it's bright, and that's all it does.
Yeah.
When he first got it, it worked fine. But on the first flight, something happened during the first flight.
And the company, and I don't even think I told RD this, I actually got an email from that particular company a couple of days ago, and they said it was probably because the ESC wasn't. They wanted to know what the ESC was in this particular jet. Well, the afterburner that I bought was made for 70 and 80 millimeter EDFs. Well, the plane I had it in is a 70 millimeter F-18, the FMS F-18. Y'all seen it? That's what I had it in. So that wasn't an issue. I got a bad one, I guess, or I got what I paid for. Put it that way. I mean, it was like 20 bucks. So no big deal. I mean, kind of sucks because it did look good. I ain't gonna say it didn't look good, but you know, I wanted to try it because of the price. I seen them on their website, and I tried it, and you know, I won't buy another one. You know, we haven't bought anymore. You know, we strictly get our stuff from 5280. So. And
let me tell you something. That's a well-built product. They have got it now to where you can adjust at which point the afterburner starts flashing, and then to the point where it actually goes full burn. You can set it whatever you wanted at, and 20. You set the high end of it. You bring the throttle up to where you want it full burn. You hit that, and then 20% down from that is your flickering. So you can set it. That's a great thing. I like that. And I can tell you something. Those things have survived 2 crashes.
Yeah.
The crash on the one airplane. What was the other one that was?
Rafale.
Oh, the Rafale. Yeah, the Rafale. It survived 2 crashes.
Yeah.
And still works.
Yeah.
So it's a great product. It's not
And also got the blue flame where it lights up that bluish color and then it goes full. That looks really good. You got it. You got it in one of your.
I got it in the
Sequoias.
SU-27 already camo.
That looks really cool.
Yeah.
And they're bright. You can see them bright as all get out right in the middle of the day. So. And
Well,
some of our videos, you can see them.
If you'll look in the videos of the MiG, especially in the last video we got, that thing, I mean, the tail end of that thing lights up in bright daylight.
Yeah, because it's a double 64
yeah.
millimeter. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyhow,
Yeah.
guys, let me tell you something. If you need or want an afterburner, get with Larry out there in Colorado. He'll fix you up one. And I'm telling you, it is a very good product that we are very, very satisfied with. We won't go with anyone else. That product is already proven itself with DRAWDY RC, and we're sticking with it.
Yeah, we got, I don't know how many EDFs we got, but we got probably a dozen. And I think every one of them, other than this one, has an afterburner in it,
Right.
5280 afterburner. So,
And to be honest with you, I ordered one for that one, but this airplane was like 1950s, you know, when it come into being, and I really didn't know if it ever had an afterburner or not. I didn't know. So the one I bought for this one, you wound up putting in what? You F4.
Yeah, I got F4 put in. Yeah, I got a free wing F4 that I built. I put it in that, and it looks great. It looks great. So, but yeah, this is one of the EDFs that already got. You know, obviously this is a free wing Cougar. It's an 80 millimeter. And this plane right here was, and I'll let RD explain it to you. This thing right here was trash when we got it, or when he got it. And we called it Frankenstein because the whole front of this thing, they had put it back together after a bad nose in. They got all the parts.
Yeah.
But they glued it back together, just not a care in the
Really,
world.
nearly.
Yeah, just putting it back together to fly. And you know, it flew great, but it looked like.
Oh, it looked terrible.
Yeah, it looked bad. So already got a new fuselage for it, and repainted it and.
And I guess there's a story behind this, because we've got several planes in this hangar that have been virtually destroyed, and they're still with us.
No.
Now this airplane belonged to Aaron, and we had to be honest with you, when I first saw this airplane, I was not impressed with it.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
But Aaron was flying it, and it just flew so doggone good. I mean, it was just smooth as butter in the air, and what happened to it is we was out there one day, and Aaron was just
Playing around,
cutting the fool, and let the airplane get too low and too slow, and then slammed the juice to it, and it rolled over on him. And it tore that thing up.
he went nose first.
And when I got the airplane, just like Keith said, I mean, from there forward, it literally looked like Frankenstein with all the scars and the glue sticking out of it. It was just terrible. I said, I can't fly that thing looking like that. And two, the vertical stabilizer, Key, you might want to point it to it, was broken, and I fixed that on the side.
Yeah, right up in, well, actually, you can barely.
Yeah.
You can barely sit on this side, but all through here was broken.
Broke off. So I got that put back on, and then after I got it all put back together, I ordered a new fuselage for it, and took everything in it and swapped it over, and took it out and flew it, and it flew great. But where we're flying has brand new asphalt on it, and there is a lip out there on that runway. You probably saw it with the F-18 of Marvin's one day. There's a little lip where the two asphalts go together, and if it ever drops off on that and have a crosswind, it'll flip that thing upside down. And that's what happened. It flipped it upside down. I tore the canopy up. I ground the tail completely
The
off.
whole top part of the tail was
And
ground down.
we took an old airplane that was busted up down here and cut the foam out of it. So that whole tail section is just Frankenstein up, but it looks great. I mean, if you used to see it, you couldn't tell it. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So, but I got it, put all that back together on it, and honestly, I love this airplane. It flies great.
Yeah.
It really, it's so smooth in the air, and it's so predictable. So, just letting you know what the story is, how we come about them. I don't remember what I give for it. It wasn't much because it was just all rough. It was rough.
And as far as a receiver and gyro, you're running.
I am running the 88.
Yeah, the R88 round.
R88 with the that is an R88 in there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a R88, Radio Master R88, and you're running the Radio Link BIM A in it.
Guys, let me tell you something. I just want to mention this.
With a 5200 6S battery is what we're running. You get what, 4 minutes? 4 minutes?
Yeah, good 4 minutes.
Yeah. A safe 4 minutes.
Those little gyros I heard about, and I tried 2 of them to start off with, and I have fallen in love with them things.
Radio Link BIM A.
Yeah, that's for a conventional airplane.
Yeah, you can get them on Amazon, I believe, for like $24.
Yeah.
So, already, that's all I use now too. I mean, I still got a couple that's got some different ones in it, but
What I like about them, look, I've had several reflexes, I've had several arrows, and I like them. But every now and then you'll get one that the elevator will be backwards. If you install it just like the directions say, for some reason the elevator will be backwards on the gyro side. Now you'll have it, where your sticks work right, but if you put it up and down like that, the thing goes backwards. And I haven't been able to figure out how to fix that. One thing I like about this one, it's a tiny little thing. And you put it in there, and it's like
I like that. There's little.
Yeah, and and it's S bus. It's run by the S bus. And like I say, if you got an elevator that's backwards, and that's on channel 4, there's a button in front of it. You just hit it 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it swaps it from going this way to this way. I mean, it's just so easy to set up. And another thing I like about it is after you get it set up and you've got all the trim work on the thing done with the gyro off, for flight, get it ready, everything lined up with trailing edges. You set it on the ground, you plug it in, you let it do its thing, and then you can take the sticks and the one with the throttle go to the left corner down, and the one for the ailerons and all go right corner down. And that thing will give a burst out of the exhaust, and all the flight controls are affected, and it calibrates it. And when you calibrate it, boy, everything will just line straight up to the point to where you can go from off to safe to AS3X, and those flight controls don't move. I mean, they locked in where you put them. You guys need to try one of them. I really, really like them. I've run them in 4 or 5 airplanes that I've got, and I know he's got them in 2 or 3 of his. And we really, really like them. So give them a check. Look, all these things we're telling you guys, they ain't giving us nothing. We're doing this because we think it's a good product, and maybe you guys can benefit from it.
It ain't gonna break the bank.
No, $24.
I mean, some of them gyros out there are
$80 and $100.
Yeah, I mean,
But anyhow, I just wanted to throw that in there. The story on the cook. If you guys want to know anything about any of these airplanes, drop a line, on us, comment on it.
yeah.
and we'll see if we can't fill you.
But this is one of the ones that we've acquired in the past couple months that RD is taking a real liking to, and I do too. I don't. To me, it's not the prettiest one in the hanger, but it looks good, and honestly, to me it looks better in the air than it does sitting on the table.
It does.
But it's a good flying plane, and
that's the big thing.
Yeah, it flies good, and it gets your head right when you're wanting to get into the bigger ones like we do have, and the more expensive plane. Now this one isn't
80.
It ain't cheap by no means, but when you start getting into the larger free wing and you know, those planes, you're looking $500, $600, $700, and even up more than that. Especially when you get into the Sukhois, SU-27s, they're well over $700 now. So, but anyway, that's one of the ones we've acquired, and I want to tell you a little bit about it. I'm gonna bring out the which one we're gonna bring out? We're gonna bring out the
let's talk about the P51 and the P47.
The P51. Let me go get it.
This one.
You want to get that one first?
No, I put the P47. No.
You talking about the P51?
And the Sea Fury, the ones we rebuilt.
Okay.
Just get the P47. Sea Fury's got used to it.
Let me get that one out the way. Yeah, we just did a video on the Sea Fury, so y'all seen it. It was a couple of 2-3 videos ago, so go check it out over there on the channel, or here on the channel. There's the P.
Just let it rock down on the right wing so they can see it.
Yep, there we go. Yep, there we go. So this is the this one's by Dynam. It's a P47.
Great fly.
And you notice it's painted differently. I don't think we've I think I explained it a little bit in the last video that we've done of this plane. It already has flown it since he redone it. But this plane was pretty jacked up too from about here forward. It went down in a field, and luckily it went down in a field that the grass was about knee high, and the grass, you know, took some of the energy out of the plane when you hit, but it still jacked the front up pretty good. So,
guys, a lot of times when you see that I've done some paint work on airplanes, more than likely I'm camouflaging something I've been fixing, you know, and that's the same way with this one. I painted all this up here because that's where all the damage was. But I took it and reinforced everything like the fuselage. If I have problems with the fuselage, if the nose breaks off, I usually take
skewers.
What kind of skewers?
Barbecue skewers.
Yeah, the barbecue skewers, those big ones.
Not them.
Yeah, well,
just regular old barbecue skewers you get at the, you know, your grocery store.
And I'll run them things down the fuselage, down the sidewalls, and then glue them in place. And it really stiffens them up. So I haven't had any problems with it. And this airplane flies good. I've flown it since the incident, but the airplane still looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, the airplane looks good. And I wanted to say this to guys out there that may be wondering about this. Well, I hate to put money in and take it out and crash it. Well, guess what?
Well, you're gonna crash them.
You can make it look just like this again. All it takes is a little research. All it takes is a little time. To me, that's part of the hobby. And you go in there and you correct all this stuff and repaint them, and they back good as new again. In fact, this airplane right now flies better than it ever has. So,
and let's reiterate on the plane flies good. It flew good before the crash.
Oh yeah, why? Tell them why.
It went down because it got a little too far, and we lost orientation on it. And you know, when it gets so far away, and especially this thing being gray, it was a lot more gray than what it is now. We actually got a lot more red on it now. Already painted the, you know, as you can see, the front of it more red than originally it come. And but yeah, he just lost orientation on it, trying to get it back, and it went down in a field. Like I said, but luckily the field was an uncut field. It hadn't been cut in years, and it was about knee-high grass, and it was pretty thick.
And he had Bermuda shorts on, the spiders bit him.
Yeah, I had to go out there and get it, and it was still real damp and wet. It was kind of early in the morning, and I went out there and I got ate up by daggum spiders on my legs. But anyway, but we was able to, RD was able to save the plane and put it back together, and it was beat up a little bit. I mean, I think the cow took more than the actual fuselage did, but we was able to get it fixed back up and get her painted. And like I said, the last flight he done with it, it flew good. So
yeah,
Dyno makes a good plane.
Just understand, guys. Just because you crash it don't mean it's into that thing's life. I mean, you can go back.
Yeah.
You can go back. And if you look at the nose of this real close, you'll see it's got a lot of popcorn in it. The reason it's got popcorn in it is because that nose cavern there was toast.
Yeah.
And I had to keep it in hot water to get it to come back straight.
And it's got some spackle in it. And
it's got spackle in it. It's got wood chips in it.
About 2 quarts of paint.
Yeah. But I mean, really, what
she's fine.
Now this one, in my old P-51 June night, probably one of the best flying warbirds I ever got a hold to. But the same story with that was the same story with this one. I was trimming it, and I was concentrating it, looking back at the radio, and that airplane the whole time was going away.
It got almost out of sight.
Yeah, and when I finally realized how far it was, I didn't know which way it was going, and I chose A instead of B, and it went straight to the ground. So.
And it destroyed that one.
Yeah.
It went down in the field, but matter of fact, it went down close to where this one went down, but it was in a cut part of the field, and it was just hard Georgia clay, and it was dry.
Yeah, it took
and
it out.
It screwed it up pretty bad.
It took it out. So there
wasn't no fixing that one.
Yeah, just like I said, just understand these things are fixable, you know.
Yeah,
and if you can find parts for it, great. Just replace the parts, put it back together, and go continue to fly it. But if you don't have parts for it, hot water, glue, wood, sticks. I mean,
some people use a hair dryer.
Yeah.
To get the foam form back out, or some people use even a heat gun. You got to be careful with a heat gun. Heat gun will melt it.
I'll tell you what works pretty good though. My wife bought me a steamer.
Steamer, yeah.
She bought me a steamer. And you can fill that thing with water. It's got a nozzle. You can direct it, and you can get right on that thing and steam that thing down. And the water, keeps it moist so it doesn't mess it up. Yep. And that's what I use. That's what I use on all mine. The little handheld steamer. You can get them for they ain't all that expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this one up. Let me put her back in this bed.
Now, if you guys remember an earlier hangar times we've had, you've seen a P-40 sitting right up here. I put it together, the FMS P-40 1400 millimeter, never been flown.
Traded it for the 15, didn't you?
Yeah, bring it in here, and we were sitting here talking one day, and Marvin came in, and he saw that airplane. He just had to have it. He tried to buy it, and no, I'm gonna fly it one day, blah blah blah. Finally, he said, "I'll tell you what. I got an airplane I'm not real crazy about, and I'll swap for you." And I said, "What is it?" He said, "A 90 millimeter F-15." And guys, this is the one I traded. This is the one I traded that P-40 for. Of course, I went completely through the airplane, repainted it.
Well, you did a totally different paint job on it.
Oh yeah.
Y'all seen y'all? Well, I think we've got a couple of videos of it up on the channel. So
yeah, and it flies great. I mean, it really flies great.
That's good flying.
So the P-40 you seen Marvin flying was my P-40 that I made, and this was the F-15 that he had. He said he didn't care nothing about. So, there we have it. That's how we acquired this one. I've already flown it several times, and it flies wonderfully. Everything's just like it should be on it. I didn't like it solid gray. I mean, it's got a little bit of light blue in it from the factory, but it's so light blue you can't see it.
It looks more gray.
Yeah, it looks more gray. So I went through it, and it was kind of rough looking when I got it, but I've got it now where I'm pretty proud of it, and it shows up really good. Keith done a lot of work to the cockpit of this thing, so it's looking very well.
Yep.
But that's where this thing came from.
A trade.
It was just a trade.
And the P40 was the flatline P40.
No, FMS.
FMS. I'm sorry. The big. What was it? 1400.
Yep.
Yeah, the 1400. So, but yeah, this is what we got. This is what we acquired from one of our prop planes.
And that pretty much put us in the jet business right there.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to tell you the story about the Sea Fury. You probably already seen the flight of it. Well, it flew great, but when I landed it tipped over on the nose and broke the prop. I done fixed that. But that was another example of a crash that was gone. And I liked the airplane so good, I just ordered 2 wings and a fuselage for it. And it looks great. And it's flying again, so. Oh boy.
So you notice on this one, this is the Arrows MiG 29, the 64, double 64, twin 64. But if you notice on the front, it's just a tad bit different what it used to be. And we'll tell you all about. They already tell you all about that. Let's make sure it's in the camera good. Sure it is. Oh yeah, we're good.
First time I took that, I really like this airplane. I think it's really pretty, and it does fly good. First time I took it out on the maiden flight, it flew wonderfully. I was so happy I took it home without a scratch on it. The second flight went okay, didn't it?
Yeah.
I flown, I think 3 times.
Yeah.
The third flight was, what, 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I took it out, took it up, man, the thing was flying great.
I've had that video, matter of fact, that video's up.
Yeah.
No, not yet. Not yet. It's coming up.
And we don't have, we cannot show you the actual crash. It shows you the whole flight.
You can hear me say when it goes down, because I was like, oh, what happened?
He was filming, and it started down, he goes.
If I'd had my GoPro on, usually I keep a GoPro on my head. Matter of fact, the GoPro we're using now, I usually keep it on my head with a strap, and I'm videoing either with my phone, doing this right here, or just this new camera we got. And I didn't take my GoPro that day. If I'd had my GoPro on, I would have got it. But
okay.
we didn't.
What happened was.
What had happened?
It was a couple. It was a couple of things that happened. I was playing with the trim, and it was kind of breezy that day.
It wasn't too bad, but yeah.
But where we were flying off the end of the runway, or the beginning of the runway, the north end of the runway, there's a steep hill. I mean, there's a runway, and then there's a steep hill about, what, 20 feet, 25 feet?
Yeah, at least.
And if the wind is just right, it comes along there and it hits that slope and throws the wind up. Well, I was coming in on final, and I had it fairly slow, and as I pulled the airplane around to come in, it looked like somebody just went up there and put the brakes on. That thing just stopped, and when it did, and when it stopped, it rolled over and went in, and it went in on the runway. You can imagine how it looked. It went in, nose, and the right wing. It hit so hard it broke the carbon spar. The wing was off of it. The whole front end was gone on it. The fuselage was split, where it's put together was split.
Yeah, on the bottom.
On the bottom.
On the bottom down here. All this up in here was split where it goes together. It would just look like somebody took a fillet and just filleted it.
it took me 2 weeks to fix this airplane. And when I first walked up to it, I said, that thing's done. I ain't messing with it. Well, I think Keith told you the story. Him and my wife and my daughter bought me that for my birthday. And Keith said, no, you can fix that, Dad. I said,
I think it was, as soon as I saw it, I thought, I said, you know what, that thing's fixed. I've seen Dad fix some other planes that were a whole lot worse than that, and you can't even tell they're other than a different paint job, kind of like the P-47 we just brought down. I was like, I think that thing can be fixed. And the biggest problem we had with it, we had all the parts other than about a
1 by 3 inch.
Yeah, 1 by 3 inch gap right here in the front, towards the front part of the canopy. And so I took a piece of old foam. We don't throw a lot of the foam. We keep, even out of the boxes when we unbox these planes, we keep a good chunks of them because I got a foam cutter I got off Amazon, and you can cut them pretty precise. And I was able to get a piece cut pretty close, and then RD was able to go in there and spackle it and sand it. And matter of fact, it's on this, I think it was this side. Yeah, it's this side. It was on this side right here. Anyway, before my GoPro decided to say I don't want to do this no more. But yeah, it was right up in this area here. And as you can see, you really can't even tell it. And that whole front section was busted off, gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we watched it when it hit.
Oh, it just exploded.
Oh, we seen foam going everywhere.
Yeah,
but the wind was blowing, and we thought we knew that piece was missing, and we looked for it.
And it was a pretty good sized piece. We would have seen it. And evidently the wind.
When it exploded with the wind blowing, I think it blowed it way out there to where we didn't see it anymore.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he took and cut a piece for it. We put it in there. And I think I've got 3 skewers. I took the nose coming off, and I put 3 skewers all the way down. I put it down each side and the bottom.
Down in this area here.
Yeah. In fact, you can see one of the skewers sticking down there.
But you can see, I ain't gonna show you, but Dad's got half a lumber yard in there.
I do. I got a lot of wood.
But that thing is a lot more sturdier, a lot tougher than what it was from the factory. But
and that right wing was destroyed. It had cracks and breaks in it.
and don't think for a minute you can't take hobby putty and use on foam, because I do it all the time with some of the hobby stuff I do at home. And I brought some down here because there was a little bit of a lip. The canopy wasn't fitting quite as well, and Dad was showing it to me. And I said, well, let me, instead of the spackle, let me bring some of that hobby putty up, because the hobby putty is almost like Bondo. It's real, it's just not as gritty, I guess you could say, as the spackle. And he put some on there and smoothed it out, and I don't even think he sanded it down.
What's that?
And that
No,
putty.
I put it on there. I had that glass of water, and I took my finger in a glass of water.
Yeah, almost like Bondo. I mean, you can take
And I just smooth it right out.
But now you can see the MIG is fine. You can see we're running the 5280 twin 64 afterburners in it, and that thing looks really good with those afterburners. The video coming up, which is the crash video, the video itself is already flying it and looking good. You'll see the 5280s in it. Obviously, we don't get the crash in it, which is probably a good thing, because it was ugly. But she's ready to go again. Now, it hasn't been flown at this point yet, but I told RD I think it's gonna fly fine.
Actually, I was having a little bit of trouble with the CG on it. The CG was further back than what everybody was saying. And since I put 10 pounds of putty in the front, and 40 pounds of paint on the front, and
You got a half
25 pounds of wood
You
in
got a
it.
half a lumber yard in there and about a gallon and a half of spackle.
It actually CG out now.
Yeah.
Now, tell them what we did to the wing over there. We sewed it with toothpicks, remember?
Yeah, where it was cracked at. I'm sure if any of y'all that watch our show or our videos, you've done this before. But where there's cracks in your fuselage or in your wings and all, you'll take toothpicks, and you'll shove them in, one from one side, one from the other, into the foam.
Where it looks like sticks.
Almost like you're sewing it together, and then take your pair of hobby clips or dikes or whatever, and clip them off, and then sand them down, and then put some glue over them, and maybe put a little putty over them or a little spackle and sand it down. You can't even tell it. And that's what we did in this wing here. That wing is solid. So it's amazing what toothpicks will do with foam, but they work.
Yeah,
or if you got the smaller skewers, they'll work fine.
Yeah, when you take, I use the round toothpick,
Yeah.
obviously, but when you poke that thing in there and you got it just where you want it, pull it back out, put your little layer of glue on it, then ram it back in the hole. Man, it's tough then.
Yep. But the MIG's ready to go. Like I said, this is the Arrows 64 millimeter double 64. This plane is the exact same size as my FMS F18. They're the exact same size. So technically the plane is a 70 millimeter, but the two EDFs are 64. So
I've got to throw this in there. Guys, when I flew it, guess what I did? I took this out because I didn't want it to break off on landing. And that's the only thing.
That's the only thing that survived.
Ain't got a toothpick in it.
Well, you know, about from here, I'd say from here
Yeah.
back was didn't even. I think there was a little bit of road rash on one of your verticals. I mean, one of your stabilizers, and the wing wasn't that bad, honestly. I mean, it was broke off, but it wasn't damaged.
Lee's bed was chewed up.
You had to buy a new spar for it.
Yeah, I had to order a spar for it.
So, but other than that, the landing gear were down, and they were, I think it.
Hey, them babies is tough. Cause guess what? They work fine.
Yeah, there's nothing. We ain't had to adjust on them at all. So, you can see on the bottom, she's fine, and she was tore up. I wish I had some pictures of it, but I didn't. That's my fault. But we ain't gonna have to worry about it. We ain't gonna crash again.
I really like the design though. Just by looking at it, kind of got a Thunderbird look to it.
Yeah, and if y'all remember, I don't know if Freewing still does it or not, but Freewing has a MIG, the big 90 millimeter that used to be painted like this, but I don't know if they still do that one or not.
Canadian, I think.
Yeah, because our buddy Aaron had one, and Aaron tore his all to hell too. But that was a real pretty plane. I think this is similar to the paint scheme that was on that big one. So that was this was good to go.
Getting the Rafale or the Pilatus one. Oh, you're gonna go with this one.
Yeah, we'll just do it real quick. So a lot of y'all have seen this one. I mean, videos of it. This plane's been out for a while from E-Flight.
I think it's huge.
It's it's a 1500, I think.
No, it's it is 1500.
I think it's 1500. This is another one that Dad acquired from our buddy Marvin. Marvin just didn't want it anymore, and already picked it up from him and did some paint work on it, decaled it up a little bit more, and
I got a deal on it. I couldn't refuse it.
yeah, I mean this is
and honestly, my wife wanted me to buy it. She said that's one of the prettiest airplanes out there. So.
and to me, as far as the Warbirds, I think it is too. This is one of the original Warbirds that I wanted, but I just couldn't bite the bullet and pay the money that E-Flight wanted for it. I know it's a great plane and it's worth the money, but we buy everything out of our pocket, like I said, and I just couldn't throw that much money into it. Already got a hell of a deal on it, and fixed her up, put new landing gear on it.
Yeah. Tell me about that landing gear, boy.
Repainted everything, and it looked really good. I mean, the plane, Marvin had a lot of flights on this plane, and flew great. Marvin flew the hell out of it.
But it looked wonky on landings and takeoffs, and come to find out,
the landing gear were all loose.
They were wore out. I mean, they were wore out.
They were wore out. Marty replaced the whole giddy up, though.
Yeah, I got all brand new
gear and everything. So, but yeah, that's the newest one that we've acquired.
Right.
RD's acquired. So we haven't flown it yet, but we'll get to it one day.
I like it though. I think it's pretty.
Yeah, it's. Y'all seen it. I mean, this is not a new plane, but it's new to us.
I did the tanks.
Yeah, redone the tanks on the bottom, new gear.
Decals.
Yeah, put new decals on it. So yeah, she's good to go. Anyway, just another one that we've acquired. And
we're gonna take you on a hanger tour when this is over. Y'all have to forgive me. I've got allergies, and for some reason today is just terrible. Boy, there's a story with this airplane. First of all, where did you get it?
I got it from my buddy Marvin. We've gotten a lot of planes from Marvin. But yeah, I got this one from Marvin. He, y'all seen Marvin fly here on the channel as well. Matter of fact, the first couple of flights we had with the Rafale was Marvin flying. It was his plane at the time, and it just come down to I was wanting to buy. We were getting, me and RD were getting more and more into the EDFs, and Marvin's like, well, I'll sell you this one. So I bought it from him and painted it up, fixed some spots in it. And
well, to be honest, you know, Marvin needed the money because he is moving to the turbines.
Yeah.
Turbines are not free.
No.
Them things are expensive. So he was wanting to take that money and put it in his turbine.
Yeah.
So that's when he sold me a lot of airplanes, he sold Keith a lot of airplanes, just get turbine money.
Yeah, and he's got a couple of pretty good sized turbine jets he's working on. But I picked this one up from Marvin and painted it up. You know, did my own little thing to it like me and RD like to do. And
but all you had to get doors on it.
Yep, and I needed new doors on it. We got the new doors on it. I think I ended up. No, I hadn't replaced the front gear on this one at that point, but it did need new main gear doors. But it comes as a set, a kit, so I bought the whole kit. Redone inside the canopy, you know, dolled it up a little bit, make it look a little better. As far as paint work, I really didn't have to paint anything other than the bottom. I did do some painting on the bottom of it, just kind of fix some of the spots on it. But first 2 times I took it out,
Yeah.
just flew. I was like, the first time I took it out, I was like, man, this might be my new go-to. You know, and I was a little nervous about it because, you know, this thing doesn't have the stabilizers in the back. It's got all of it's. I mean, you guys know it's just tail and wing, basically. It does have flap, but when you put the flaps on it, does that crow stuff, and I mean it's all right. I mean I've flown it with it, and it's okay, but I'm not crazy about it. But
it comes that way.
It comes that way. Yeah, it's programmed into the blue box. So there's no way to take it out unless you just bypass the blue box and do it yourself. But you know, it's not that bad. The crow part aren't. But anyway, and this one I think I'm running an R88 in this one, Radio Master. And I'm running I'm actually running.
You're running the reflex.
Yeah, I'm running a reflex gyro in it.
And the reason we run the reflex gyro is that's an FMS airplane.
Yeah, and FMS is the reflex. I'm running a 5280 RC afterburner in it, and it looks great. Lights. I mean, this whole tail end lights up when because that yellow just lights up. But yeah, the first couple times I took it out, it flew great. I was happy with it. I was tickled to death with it. And then one day I was flying along there, and y'all seen the video by now if you've watched it. I'm coming down for a landing, and I guess right there at the end I didn't flare it like I should have, and where we fly out, the wind.
It was a combination.
Yeah, the wind was blowing between the hangars and the trees and.
Guys, I know we haven't taken you and showed you exactly where we're flying at. We're flying in front of some hangars and the terminal, okay? And that wind, when it comes between those hangars, it might not be blowing very bad away from the buildings, but when you get up there between the hangars, it kind of funnels it down and speeds it up. And sometimes you'll be flying along and you go, well, there ain't no wind until you hit one spot where the hangars, there's a gap in the hangars, and you're hitting that thing and crazy things happen. Yeah. Just like I was talking about with the Cougar that I turned over upside down, about the asphalt being a little bit off, and if it hits it just right, it'll flip that thing over.
Yep.
So, and Keith was doing a great job. I mean, he was flying the fool out of that thing. It looked really good. His descent looked good, but he didn't flare in time
before the wind
popped it. So he was a little late on flaring, and the wind was beating to the draw, and the thing landed pretty much on the nose gear.
Yeah, it broke the nose gear, front doors, all that stuff on the front end. I mean, it broke it all out. I think that was the second time that's happened with that plane. But I've had a lot of rough time with the front gear on this thing, and to be able to go on YouTube or anywhere and figure out how to put that gear in,
good luck.
Good luck to you. Good luck, because that is a pain in the butt. If you don't, the last time we actually took pictures of it, so we know how to put it back in there. So we wrestled that thing for days, trying to get it in there right. But we got it, and it's back working right. And then the next flight I had, I tore it up again. I think it was the very next time I went out with it.
You'll like this story.
I was having some troubles with the front gear, and me and Aaron were trying to figure it out. Well, I took the plane out of safe and I turned everything off. So the plane had no
gyro,
no nothing. And honestly, I'll go ahead and tell you, I can't fly without a gyro. I mean, I probably could, but I wasn't prepared for it. Let's put it that way. So when we flipped the plane back over, got the landing gear going right, I go to take off, and this plane goes just wonky all over the daggone place, and I'm like, what in the world? And I finally realized what I'd done. I flipped it back in the safe, plane straightened right up, boom, I'm getting it down the road. Fly it, bring it in, land it, gear still kind of jacked up on the front, so me and Aaron did the same thing. We flip it back over, turn the daggone thing off, we fix the landing gear, put it back down on the ground, and I go to take off with it, and I didn't put it back in safe for my takeoff. And that joker comes up, and I mean, it comes up all crazy. Boy, it starts doing all this right here, and it kind of freaks me out. And instead of tearing the thing up and just letting it go nose into the dirt and maybe ruining the airplane
or the asphalt,
I just ran it right into the trees. Right into the trees it goes. And back to the drawing board with front gear and
yeah, but honestly, looking back on that, probably saved the airplane.
Yeah, it definitely saved the airplane. I mean, it tore the refueling tube off, and
tore off one of the
it tore off one of the what do you call these things?
why'd you ask, man?
Yeah, I done forgot now. But it tore one of them your little wings off there. Whatever, I don't forgot what they call. Canards. It tore one of them off. I think it was this one. Didn't hurt it, but just kind of ripped it off. Front gear were jacked up again. I think it messed up the landing gear doors again. But other than that, I mean, the plane was fine. It messed up one of the ends of the wings where the little missiles are. And it tore the vertical off. It tore the vertical off. But as far as damage-wise, it wasn't that bad. But I will say this: it's a great flying plane, and I really, really like it. So, FMS did a good job with this one. Don't be scared of it. Don't be scared of it. I've seen mixed reviews on it, and I think it flies fine.
And that's what gonna look great in the air. That thing looks good in the air.
I think I put whistles in this one too.
You did?
Yeah, I got the little whistles in it, so it winds.
You get them 5282.
Yep. If you buy Afterburner, I think he at least puts one in the box for you. But you can get them over there. They're a couple of dollars. I mean, but they sound good. I didn't know if I wanted to do it or not, but I actually watched a video of a guy with an F-22, a free wing F-22 90mm, and he had dolled that thing up and he put whistles on both sides of the burn tubes on exhaust on it, and that thing sounded cool. I said, I'm gonna put whistles in my EDFs, and I did. I put in this one and my F-22, and I think I got them in my little, F-18 too now, but they sound really good. You don't realize how loud they are until you go back and you watch a video, or you hear somebody else flying it, and they're really loud. So, but anyway, that's the story of my Rafale. I love this plane. I'm gonna keep flying it. I'm gonna fly it until it don't fly no more, or it can't fly no more.
Well, it just looks. I like the way that airplane looks.
Yeah.
I just really do. It's easy to see in the air too. So.
Yeah, it looks really good. So, but yeah, that's another one we've acquired. One of many that we've acquired.
Yeah, the show's just beginning. Pilatus. Right here.
Yeah, I got some stories about this one too.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna get too deep into it though, because I could go for a while on this one. But
Yeah,
I'll just tell you.
You can write a book on that one.
I'll just tell you right now, the FMS Pilatus is a great flyer. That is probably one of my favorites in the hanger. As far as a prop plane, you can still buy these on FMS. It's an R88, and I am running the Radio Link by May in this one, and it does really well with it. Everything works really good. So I've crashed this one before, and I'll tell you the reason why I crashed this one. I think I got that on video. I think that was actually on video. But I'm not positive. But what happened with this one? Flying great, taking off, flying, all this. I mean, I had I had a couple of 2 or 3 flights on it already, and just fell in love with this plane. Well, we was out there one day, and I was going to go take off. I'd done flown like 2 or 3 times. I was confident, man. Everything was going great. I just took the battery in there, and boom, here I go. And as soon as that jerker gets up, I go to pull the gear up on it or level it out, and that plane just goes right into the dirt. And I'm like, what in the world just happened? And I think Dad and Marvin and Aaron and everybody was standing behind me, and they were working on something else. And I'm like, what in the hell just happened? And either Dad or Marvin was like, what happened? I said, it went down. It crashed. And anyway, long story short, it went in about like that. So it didn't go nose in. So it wrinkled up my front a little bit. Broke the prop, broke the nose cone on it, broke all the door system on it up front, which is
the box.
And the box, which that's about the dumbest situation right there I've ever seen in my life. I think other than that, it didn't tear anything else up. It was just more or less up in this area. And I had to go in there and straighten it out and do some work in there. But come to find out, this plane come with a different style. I don't even know what they're called. But it was a different. It wasn't an XT60. It was something else. It was a weird plug on it, and I had to put an adapter on that plug for an XT60, for my XT60 on the battery to go into it. Well, it was like really, really loose, and I didn't realize how loose it was. And there's no doubt in my mind, when I picked up that airplane, the battery was still connected, everything was still connected other than that. And there's no doubt in my mind that during takeoff, with the torque or whatever, that thing lost connection for a split second and that plane went down. So while I was at work one day, RD come in here and he cut that old plug off and put me an XT60 plug on it. And ever since then, I've had absolutely no problems with it. And I've flown this plane, I don't know, 2 or 3 times since then. 2 times, 3 times.
You flew it 3 times the last time we had it out.
Yeah, so, and this thing flies, and it just flies good. The only complaint I got about this plane is that crap right there. I just feel like they could have done something else with that gear system to make it better, because it's a full assembly box, and to get those little springs, and I would have thought the amount of money you pay for that box system for this thing, they would have sent springs with it, and maybe already have it assembled to where you got to do a slide in, put your gear in, and you're good to go. No. They didn't send you They didn't send me no springs, and the springs I had, obviously I had to put them in, and I can only get one in. And it works. It doesn't close all the way like I like it, but that's fine. It's still a big deal. You can't really tell it. It just instead of being flush, it's kind of like that. I'm not worried about it. It flies fine. It doesn't upset the plane at all, and I'm good with it. So, but a good investment. This is another one I bought from Marvin. He didn't really like it. I do. I like it. This is pretty much an everyday flyer for me. And you can put it in the back seat. The wings aren't that wide on it, or the wingspan ain't real wide, so you can put this in the back seat of a truck or a car pretty easy. And usually that's what I do, put it in the back of the truck, and we put the jets in the bed. So, but a good investment. I run a 3500 Ovonics in it, 3400 Ovonics 4S in it, and I'm going 5 minutes with it, and I'm usually 60% battery life, so I'm getting 2 5-minute flights out of a battery.
You fly 2 days.
Yeah.
That thing stays there forever.
And when I get done with that second flight, I'm still probably in the 30% range. Now, I'm not dogging, I'm not twisting in the air, I'm not doing all that. Me and RD fly scale, and we preserve a battery. So I can get 2 flights on a 3400 4S on this thing. So, but yeah, it flies good. So that's the story of this thing. And it's been a headache, I promise you, but nothing of the plane's fault. Other than them damn landing gear. I don't like this.
I have heard this boy in his Sunday school lesson
With that plane.
with that airplane.
Yep.
I mean, and it ain't cause it don't fly good. It flies great, but the way they got that thing set up in the nose.
Well, at one point, I was to the point of taking some damn concrete or something and concreting the landing gear down, just flying with landing gear down. I was that frustrated with it.
Yep.
Jump.
Have you told the story on the F4? Might as well bring the other one in too. But we ain't told how that come about.
Did that come loose? It did.
This boy is the F4 king.
Well, I'll tell you something about. I'll tell you about these F4s. So, I didn't when we started doing EDFs, I thought, you know, the F4 was probably the last one I would get because we watch so many videos on it, and people say, man, you can fly that, you can fly anything, but this is a tough bird to fly, blah, 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 blah. Even, I got both these planes from Marvin. I got this one from Marvin, I got pieces from Marvin for this one. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I got this one from Marvin. Actually, I got it from Aaron. Aaron was planning on moving, going out of town, and he wanted to get rid of it, and I bought it from him. Got a great deal on it. So I went in there and I fixed it up, did some interior work in it, did some work on the sides with spackle, and got it all smoothed out, and she looks pretty good. Actually, I repainted this whole plane. All this green, all the greens, all the beiges, everything's being repainted, new stickers, everything. Well, I didn't particularly want it. I wanted a different airplane. I wanted an F-18 or an F-22, and I'm like, I don't know, but I couldn't beat the price. Yeah, I'll buy it. So I done it, and I ain't regretted it one bit because.
And honestly, everybody tried to scare him on that airplane.
Yeah, and the first time I flew it, and it's not Marvin's fault by no means, but Marvin was behind me and we were flying it, or I was flying it, and I think I flew it way too fast, and I was nervous because of what I heard. But now when I went out and I flew it like I wanted to fly it at my speed and the way my style of flying is, this thing flew great. Y'all have seen the videos. This is a great flying plane. It's I won't say it's easy to fly, but it's very doable. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
And it lands well.
And it lands good. I mean, respect it and keep up the speed in your corners. This plane flies great. Now this one, on the other hand, looked nothing like this when I got it. This right here is a pieced together, literally pieced together airplane. So Marvin had a couple of F4s that had been crashed. I've always liked the Sundowners paint scheme, the Gray Ghost paint scheme. I think Free Wing has one that's called the Gray Ghost, but it's got the black tail, the skull and crossbones on it and all that. I didn't want that. I wanted the Sundowners. So what I've done is I bought 2 fuselages that had wings and a vertical and all that from Marvin, and everything was trash other than 2 wings and one tail section. Electronics. So I had to take electronics out of all these other ones, take this whole piece apart, tail section all apart, and just kind of piece it all together. And I bought the Gray Ghost fuselage, and voila. And I bought I did buy the kit, the decal kit from Motion RC for the Gray Ghost, and that's what you see in front of you. I hand painted, and you know, sitting up close, you can tell that it's hand painted. But I hand painted the tail, the sundowners. I could have got it from, I could have ordered it from Kelly Graphics or something like that. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna take it home. I'm gonna hand paint it myself, and that way I know I done it and it's mine, and that's the way I got it. So, but I painted it up as close as I could to a picture that I'd seen online of the sundowners plane. Other than a decal that goes back here on this back section is the only thing I didn't do. And I think some of the sundowners have a white nose cone instead of the black stripe, and I like the black stripe better. But this one literally was pieces, and I put it all back together, and got her going. Now I think she's good to go. Running the same exact thing I'm running that. I'm running an R88 in this one, and I think I'm running a reflex in both of these. Yeah, I am. I'm running a reflex, FMS reflex in both of them. Because this one right here flies really good with the reflex, so I wanted to set this one identical, and I did. So.
Yeah, because we're going to use all the settings from that one and this one,
yep.
Same airplane.
And both these airplanes have 5280 afterburners on them, so, and they look great. Obviously, this is a single 90 millimeter EDF, so it's only got the one afterburner in it, but they both fly. Well, this one flies really, really good. I've yet to fly this one and mating this one, but it's coming soon. So
it's gonna fly great. It's gonna fly just like the other one.
Oh yeah. But there's my arsenal of F4s. I ain't getting no more F4s. There is actually another F4 that I want to get, but I ain't doing that until I get rid of some of these other ones. So, but anyway, that's where I'm at with my F4s.
And that's how we acquired them.
Yeah, that's how we got them.
Honestly, we got most of our airplanes, the used ones, from Marvin when he decided to go full bore on his turbine stuff. And I understand that's what is my mama used to say, that's what blows his frock up. And so I don't blame him for doing that. But that doesn't interest me, Keith. I have no desire to have a big turbine airplane. I think they're neat. I think they're pretty. But let me tell you something. Being around that thing at the flight line, that damn thing is loud. It gets irritating after a while hearing that thing bellow and make all the noise that it makes. If it's up in the air, it's fine, but man, on the ground, I think I'm deafening you. Uh-oh.
All right, so I'm gonna let RD talk about his Sukhois. His SUs, I'm gonna bring both of them out. This is one that he's acquired. Yeah, there's another one. Oh, for heavy.
They are heavy.
There we go.
All right, guys. Let me tell you a cute little story, though. Keith and I, where did we see it at? Was it on, whoever had those things, for $700 and something or $600 and something. About $700.
FMS.
And it had the J11.
Yeah.
And, and it had the Sukhoi, the SU-27. Chinese version, been the same airplane, just different livery. And I told Keith, I said, man, that's a huge airplane.
Yeah, well, you know,
And the way they had it advertised was,
yeah,
it sounded like you was gonna get both of them for $700.
I seen that on FMS, on FMS out there. I said, oh hell! I said, let me call Dad right now. I'll go in house. He get one, I get one. You know.
We done figured out who's gonna get what.
Yeah, we done figured it out. So Dad's like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, all right, well, let's order it. You know, let's get it. I was wrong. Them things are $700 a piece. You know, but the way they had it double stacked for $700 and something. So
it was kind of misleading.
I think it was misleading part. And then when you scroll further down, you can still do it. You can still go on FMS.com and it's that way. You go to the bottom, and they got them individually at $749 a piece. I'm like, oh, okay. So they're saying you can get either or for $749, but man, for a minute there, I was getting excited about it, but then I was like, I ain't paying $800 for no airplane. I just
That airplane right there, this one came from Marvin. Same story. Marvin's liquidating all his foamies and leaning towards the turbines. So that's the first one I bought from him. It needed a little touch-up paint. I did touch-up paint. I did a little spackle work, but it wasn't crashed. It was a good flying airplane. Just it had some hanger damage.
Yeah, hanger rashes.
Hanger rashes. So I got that one fixed up. Well, I was proud of it too. Well, then Aaron comes up. He's moving to Colorado, and he said, and this was his. He had just painted it the Arctic camo. And he called me one morning and asked me, did I want it? He said, how much you want for it? He told me what he wanted for it, and I went, yeah, I'll take it with that. So now I wound up with two of them, and honestly, I've got both of them less than the price of one of them. So,
other than doing some
minor work,
putting some elbow grease to them, and they were in good shape.
I don't think we replaced anything on either one of them, did we? I don't think we did.
They both just needed a little TLC, you know.
Yeah, and we cleared them. They didn't have no clear on them.
And Dad's got the double 90mm or 80mm 5280s in both these. Matter of fact, that one's got the blue flame in it.
This one's got the blue flame.
Matter of fact, you've seen the video of that. Go back a couple weeks ago. I've got a real good video of the blue flame in this one.
And boy, that thing got some hits.
Yeah, it's got.
I mean, they were thousands and thousands of people hit that.
Yeah. This one's got the regular one in it that just flickers and then lights up, you know, as it goes higher. But that's got the blue flame in it. It flickers and then the blue flickers and all that. It's really good.
Yeah, that is a really, really cool afterburner right there. And like I say, I like them because now you can set them. You know, you can have the afterburners come on right after idle, I reckon.
Yeah.
I wanted mine to come on I wanted my full afterburners to come on about 70%. And 20% below wherever you set the high setting, 20% below that is the blue flame. So at 50%, the blue starts flickering, and then when I get to about 70, 75, then it comes on the red and gets brighter from there on out. But boy, let me tell you something, those things are bright. I mean, if you'll notice what does that thing come up about the MiG-29?
Next week sometime.
If you'll look at that one, you'll see that airplane as it passes by. Them things are bright.
Yeah.
And we're really pleased. We're pleased with the company. We're pleased with the product. It's not often I write a guy or email a guy and tell him what a great product he has, and we believe in it.
And Larry will respond.
Larry will respond.
He may not respond to you in 2 or 3 days, but he will respond.
Yeah.
So, and that means a lot.
And I know he's busy because he's got a regular job and he does this stuff. So he's not. We've been trying to get together on the phone for forever, but because I'd like to talk to him. I'd like to meet him. He just seems like a really great guy, and he's got a tremendous product. I mean, it's not that expensive. Now this boy right here, because you actually got two kits in this one.
That one too.
But this one is the blue flame. They're going to be a little bit higher, but a standard, single that goes in one of these things, I think they're like $39.
Yeah, 30, 40, something like that.
Yeah, so they're not that expensive. And it's, like I say, them things is taking a beating and they still work. Keith had one that he babied, and the doggone thing, time you plug it in, it goes bright and overheats.
It basically went to crap the very first, through the first flight.
Yeah.
And I took it out when I got home. And in fact, it's laying behind me over here, and it's probably going to go in the trash.
And like I said, something was wrong when it got so hot it melted the hot glue that he melted with.
So when this thing was sitting on you can see where the glue. You can see where the glue is actually hanging down on that thing. Right here. Where the glue got hot from where I had it on the motor, and It lit up. It actually looked really good, but it just, I don't know. I ain't buying another one.
No, I don't care how cheap it is.
No, I ain't buying another one. But anyway, I think that's where we're at. You have pretty much seen everything that me and RD has acquired over the past 6 months, 8 months.
Yeah, because it's been about 8 months since we had our last
We did a hanger time, I think, the end of last
Oh,
summer.
one more. What's that?
Oh, yeah, that big old behemoth. Let me get these out of the way.
Believe it or not, folks, that's some heavy airplanes. Without batteries, they're heavy. But boy, you talking about something flies good. Whew, good gracious. This thing here looks so good in the air.
It's probably why they fly good, because it's sort of heavy.
Yeah, it is.
Oy, oy, oy.
One more, guys, and you'll be absolutely up to speed with everything we've done in the past 6-7 months. This one, though.
Oh, no, I'll ever get done with it.
Huh?
I don't know if I'll ever get done with it. Yeah, I bought this one. And if y'all follow and y'all go to the community section of our YouTube channel, I actually posted some pictures of this thing. This is a AL37 from Freewing. Been working on it as far as painting it. I stripped all the stickers off of it. It had some kind of Star Wars stuff on it. I know there's a lot of Star Wars freaks out there. I like Star Wars too, but I didn't want it on my airplane, so I stripped it all off, spackled all down the side where the stickers were, because it was pretty rough. I actually still got a little bit more spackling to do and some sanding to do, but you can kind of see the somewhat of the paint scheme that I'm going to do to it. This is paint I've actually put on there since I got it, to see what the damage was. And I've got little spots, just small spots I need to spackle a little bit and get her going. But this is going to be the official DRAWDY RC jet, or jetliner. I think. I don't know yet exactly what I'm going to do with it, but I picked this thing up extremely cheap from a friend of ours. The wings, I'm still working on the wings. You can kind of see here from the vertical how somewhat I'm going to paint it. It's going to be blue, white flight controls. The backside back here is going to be blue. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the front black, or if I'm going to do it white, or do you come up with an idea of doing it white?
Put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Comment on it.
Yeah, tell me up front, other than the blue up front, what you might want to see on it. But it's going to be several weeks before I finish this one. But I'm in no hurry. It's just a project I'm working on, and when I get it done, you know, I'm going to take it out and fly it. I'm going to get at least a maiden on it.
Oh, well, no.
And
Larry, I think you'll be proud when you see this roll out.
yeah, yep. So it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna look really good. I've watched a ton of videos on these things, and they fly good. A lot of people complain about them flying too fast, but I mean, it isn't gonna fly any faster than any of these other EDFs. So I'm not scared of it. But everybody says it flies good. I've seen a lot of people fly, and they say it flies good. So. But that's kind of the paint scheme I'm going with: the blue, the white flight control. The bottom of the plane is primarily going to be black, and then this front piece up in here is going to be either black or white.
White.
And so we're
White, guys.
We're still debating on what we're going to do on that. So, but yeah, this is my latest one, and it's been in this shape right here for about a month. I've been working on the flight controls more than anything. The wings are almost done, and the horizontal and the vertical. So I've been trying to get those right. I think I'm about there on both of those. Got a little bit more to do in the wings, but other than that, then I can jump on this and get it done. So anyway, that's what I got. That's where I'm at.
And you know something, Keith?
I think that's it.
We went through the whole list of things we wanted to talk about tonight.
Boom.
So I guess the theme of tonight's hanger time is don't give up on your airplane to crash it. Take it home, make a hobby out of that, and put it back together, put it back in there. Honestly, it just seems like when you crash one and you put it back together, you're not as afraid to relax.
And they fly better.
And they fly better. Show them that damn 190 key before we leave. This airplane was destroyed. It was, the whole guts and the belly and all was gone out of this airplane. And after I put it back together, honestly, I think it flew better than it did before.
It's the Dynam FW190, the 1250 or 1280, I think is what it is. But yeah, this thing was.
Look at the other side. I mean, that's where all.
Yeah.
Remember, all the guts in it was gone.
Yeah, this thing was beat up. This thing was beat up bad. All of this was split open and just laid everywhere, and all this was split open.
Numerous pieces.
Oh yeah, that thing was trash. And that's why I said when we walked up or drove up on the MiG-29, I was like, nah, we can fix that. That thing's fixable. I've seen worse.
She said if you can fix that FW190 and fly it, you can do this.
Yep.
That's what we did.
But anyway. So y'all are up to speed on where we're at here at DRAWDY RC. I know it's kind of lengthy, and I hope y'all stayed for the full thing. And we usually don't make them this long, but you know, we wanted to go through everything and make sure everybody was up to par on what we got going on. And our mission is still the same, to have fun with it, to bring y'all as much information as we can give out, that we know, our experiences, our knowledge that we've learned, any techniques that we've learned that maybe somebody doesn't know about, and just to encourage people to get out and do this and have fun with it. Me and RD are still learning. We've been doing it now for about 3 years, seriously for probably 1.5 years.
Yeah, honestly, you stop and think about it. We do not have that many hours in the air. Yeah, we've been doing it for 3 years. But the number of hours in the air is nothing like you've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we still got a lot of learning to do.
Yeah.
We've come a long way, and I'm proud of that, but we still got a long way to go. So, and we learn every time we go to the flight zone, we learn something. And that's what, and we want to bring that to y'all. Me and RD both have slacked on that side of things as far as giving you more information on our flights. So
we are trying to give you better videos, though. We've invested in a little money on trying to bring a better, smoother video.
Yeah, and some of these videos coming up.
Yeah, kind of bear with us.
Yeah, they're a little shaky here and there, and we're working on the zoom and the sound and but I'm still putting them up so you guys know that we're all trying to get better at the video part of it as well. So,
and we were intended to give you guys a tour of the hangar tonight, but I think we'll wait on that because it's already run a little long, and you've seen pretty much
seen all we've got, because the only thing we really hadn't shown is our prop planes, and you've pretty much seen those in the past. But we'll do another hangar time later on, and we'll go through the hangar and show you what we got.
Oh, by the way, in case anybody's wondering about the Trump plane.
Yeah, it's above us.
It's above our head.
I think in the video you can see it. I'm not sure, but RD flew it a couple of times and it flew good. I had a couple of bouncy landings, but other than that, I mean, RD did good job with the flights. Those flights are up on the channel too, so go check those out. But other than that, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Good. Y'all, we appreciate y'all watching. I know it went a little long, and I hope y'all hung in there with us. I was gonna make 2 episodes out of this, but you know, we're gonna rock on with 1 episode, and it'll be up here. So if you want to come back and finish it up later, that's cool too. Thank y'all so much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Follow us on Instagram at DRAWDY RC.
And comment.
And yeah, comment down below. Give us some thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get,
let us know what you want to see too.
And give us some thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, tell your friends and family about DRAWDY RC and what we're trying to do here, and what we're doing here.
Guys, if you're new and you have any questions about anything that you've seen tonight, or you need some help with about working these wrecks, ask. We'll be more than happy to get with you and tell we how we're doing this stuff, because the more that we do, the better we're getting at it. And honestly, I don't know if anybody can look at that thing and tell it's been crashed now. I mean,
No.
I
I mean, you can tell it's different.
yeah, you tell it's different because of the paint.
Yeah. But anyway, hope y'all got something out of that. Hope you enjoyed it. Me and RD's gonna probably try to go fly. We're actually filming. It's a Tuesday. We're filming. I'm gonna try to get this video up this weekend. But we're gonna try to fly either tomorrow or Thursday, because I think this weekend's gonna be kind of nasty weather. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Try to get some flights in. So anyway, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all stay flying. Have fun. Enjoy it. And
Thanks again, guys.
hope y'all keep coming back here at DRAWDY RC. We'll see y'all later.
God bless you.